KLM is a member of SkyTeam, along with Air France, their partner in the Flying Blue program, and Delta Airlines. I prefer to run a search on Flying Blue as the SkyTeam base because I generally find better availability, particularly for flights to or from Europe, than I find on the Delta website. KLM is the airline of the Netherlands, so it certainly makes sense to search here in our Travel Award Search series looking for business class awards from New York City to Amsterdam. On the KLM site, you do need to log into your Flying Blue account in order to search, but you don't have to have any miles to see the results. So once you're logged in, go to this Book with Miles tab. Once you're logged in on the KLM website, the home page will give you this tab for Book with Miles. Select One Way, as that is the simplest way to search for award flights. Departing from New York, this does have the option to select all the New York airports at once, so be sure you select that. And then going to Amsterdam. And if you click on the Continue box, it will give you some other options. We want to depart on August 12th, and we want to be sure we're flying business class. Then just click Search Flight. So here are the results for the 12th. And you can see at the top the week's worth of flights. And on this date, we have a flight for 112,000 miles and $240. Let's go down the page and see what that particular flight looks like. Here we go. It is from JFK with a transfer in Paris to Amsterdam. Total trip duration is 10 hours, so that's pretty good. And if we click on this little information button, it tells us that transfer is an hour and 15 minutes. We can also see 2 seats are left. And let's take a look at the details quickly. First flight is in business on a 777. And the second flight also in business, so no mixed cabin, on an Airbus 318. Now an hour and 15 minutes does seem rather tight in Paris, but you probably also noticed it looks like there's a better flight just the next day up at the top, so let's take a look at that. So the next day we have 56,500 miles for the same copay. And here it is. It looks like it's essentially that same flight. Yes, it has an hour and 15-minute layover. 2 seats available. Let's make sure they're both in business. Yes, the long flight is in business. And the second flight is business. Again, that hour and 15-minute transfer time in Charles de Gaulle may be a little tight, but I would much rather risk that than pay another 60,000 miles or so for another flight. So we're going to be sure and make note of that because that is a really good search result. We wanted to add another trick we've learned since first doing the search on KLM. If you go into the Book with Miles tab, same as we did before, and fill in the information largely as before, but leave the departure date blank, then hit Search Flights, and then it allows you to pull up a monthly calendar, so very useful. If we look back at August, you can see there are some glitches because it shows at the top 56,500 miles, but does not show that in the calendar. So it has a few downsides, but certainly extremely useful, especially when that weekly view does not always post the mileage amounts. Here's the spreadsheet with our results from the searches. The flight on the date that we were targeting for 111,000 miles and $240 going through Paris, and essentially that same flight the next day for just 56,000 miles. So we're going to keep track of both of those in case the 12th is the date and we don't have flexibility, and just to show the difference between the two of them in this example. This is Wandering Woman with Travel Award Search. This has been another in our series on searches for business class award flight from New York to Amsterdam, this time on KLM, a member of the SkyTeam Alliance. As always, travel wisely, travel well. Thank you.